Good afternoon, class. Today, my group and I will be giving you useful information on the roles of government and consumer protection agencies. So, what is consumer protection? Consumer protection is the practice of safeguarding buyers of goods and services and the public against unfair practices in the marketplace. Consumer protection measures are often established by law. These laws, also known as consumer protection laws, are intended to prevent businesses from engaging in fraud or specified unfair practices in order to gain an advantage over competitors. They may also provide additional protection for the general public which may be impacted by a product or its production. For example, government regulations may require businesses to disclose detailed information about their products, particularly in areas where public health or safety is an issue, such as with food or automobiles.
Hi! Are you familiar with consumer protection? Do you know everything involved in purchasing and paying for a product? When you purchase a product or service from a company, you enter into a binding agreement with them. This happens, for example, when you purchase a phone from a shop or accept an offer regarding a phone subscription. Don't make a rash decision when purchasing a product. Instead, compare prices and think about which payment method would suit you best. The transaction cannot normally be reversed if you regret your decision afterwards. If you are unsure, remember to ask the salesperson if you can return the product if you change your mind. Please read the conditions before signing an agreement and ensure you know how much the final cost of the product will be. If you sign a 12-month agreement, you are bound by it and will have to make the agreed payments during that period. Provided that the product is not defective, you cannot return it unless the seller has granted you entitlement to compensation. By contrast, online purchases normally have a 14-day cancellation policy. The payment must always be made on the due date, whether you settle the whole amount at once or pay in installments. If you make the payment after the due date, you will have to pay additional costs. You can easily get a loan online, but be careful. They normally include different fees, which will considerably increase your original borrowed sum. These loans have created serious financial problems for many people. And watch out for scams. Be especially careful when an offer sounds too good to be true. If an online advert invites you to buy a smartphone for €1, it is probably a scam. If you are unable to pay on time, contact the billing agent. Billing agents are used to discussing payments, and your cooperation is valued. The product and service must reflect the agreement made between the buyer and seller. If the product does not function the way it should, breaks quickly, or if a service is different to what was originally agreed, you have the right to compensation. Report any errors to the company that sold the product or service to you. Report an error as soon as you notice it. For written complaints, you can use the Finnish Competition and Consumer Authority's FCCA's complaint tool. The seller first has the right to try and repair the product, and only if that is unsuccessful can the product be replaced. However, the seller must act within a reasonable time frame.
We are aware that manufacturers and service providers offer products and services to fulfill needs and wants of consumers on the one hand, and to increase their level of profit, sales and market share on the other. However, in an attempt to increase their sales and market share, these producers may be tempted to engage in unfair trade practices like defective and unsafe products, adulteration, false and misleading advertising, black marketing, just to name a few. Hence, there is a need to provide adequate protection to consumers against such practices of the sellers. According to the Cambridge Advanced Learning Dictionary, consumer protection is the protection of buyers of goods and services against low-quality or dangerous products and advertisements that deceive people. Consumer protection includes educating consumers about their rights and responsibilities and helping them to seek redressal of their grievances. Importance of consumer protection. From consumers' point of view, the importance of consumer protection from the consumer's point of view can be understood from the following points. 1. Consumer ignorance. Majority of the consumers are ignorant about the rights and reliefs available to them. Hence, it becomes necessary to educate them about the same to achieve consumer awareness. 2. Unorganized consumers. Consumers need to get together and form themselves into powerful consumer organizations to protect and promote their own interests. 3. Widespread exploitation of consumers. Consumer protection plays a vital role as consumers might be exploited by unscrupulous, exploitative and unfair trade practices like defective and unsafe products, adulteration, false and misleading advertising, hoarding, black marketing, etc. Importance of consumer protection from the point of view of business. It is also important for business units to protect consumers and adequately satisfying them due to the following reasons. 1. Long-term interest of business. Business firms should aim at long-term profit maximization through customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction not only leads to repeat sales but also increase the customer base of business. 2. Business uses society's resources. Business organizations use resources which belong to the society. Hence, it is a responsibility of business firms to offer those products and services that are in public interest. 3. Social responsibility. Business organizations make money by selling goods and providing services to consumers. Hence, consumers form an important group of stakeholders and business organizations should take care of the group. 4. Moral justification. It is the moral duty of any business organization to take care of consumers' interest and avoid any form of their exploitation. 5. Government intervention. A business firm should take care of consumers' needs and interests as its involvement in any form of exploitative trade practices would invite government intervention or action. Such government intervention may damage the image and position of the company in the society.
How does the government assist in consumer protection? In terms of consumer affairs, the government should have a major role to play in the protection of the customer. The government helps in consumer protection as they conduct investigations into violations of consumer rights. They also file complaints, prosecute, and order recall of unsafe goods and services. It is also empowered to order discontinuation of unfair trade practices and misleading advertisements. Examples of local consumer protection agencies and what they do. We have the Fair Trade Commission, which is an administrative body responsible for implementing the Fair Competition Act. The functions of the FTC include carrying out its own initiative or at the request of the minister or any other person, investigations in relation to the conduct of business in Jamaica in connection with matters falling within the provisions of the FCA, to advise the minister on matters relating to the operation of the FCA, etc. The Consumer Affairs Commission, or the CAC, which was established to inform, educate, and empower consumers to protect themselves in the marketplace. The CAC engages in market research, provides complaints resolution services, and runs a vibrant consumer education program. The National Consumers League. The NCL educates consumers and workers through a variety of programs and fights for their interests before government and businesses, including alliances to ensure their voices are heard. Learn more about their Alliance Against Fraud, Child Labor Coalition, and Health Advisory Council at nationalconsumersleague.org. The Capricorn Competition Commission. In quote, their mission is to promote and maintain fair competition within the Caribbean community for the enhancement of economic efficiency and consumer welfare.
Dealer, so give me a reason I would come to you as opposed to going to the Consumer Affairs.
Well, absolutely, you would come to us because we are actually able to get results in a more timely manner, I would say, because as government has certain protocols that they want to follow. But for us, we usually investigate a complaint immediately, right? So we're able to let you know if something is happening sooner rather than waiting for an entire process that can take weeks or months. So that is the reason why individuals will come to us. We're not restrained. Again, we're not restrained by politics, right? We are only guided by the Consumer Protection Act. So for us, we are able to give that unbiased view